So you usually can tell what kind of marriage is running in a family by the things they say and the way they think. There are so many things to cover. All I can do in about 30-40 minutes is summary. I take an average of 2.5 hours normally when I teach. So I'll do summary. Let's look at what some of the ideologies. Let's look at the common one. The man is the provider. Cultural belief, and I'll tell you why it's a problem. Because ordinarily it should not be harmful. If a man has that mindset, ordinarily it should not be a problem. But the issue is that number one, it's not biblical. I will show you now, just relax. Number two, it's also not practical. Especially in contemporary setting, it's not practical. It worked in cultural setting because women did not go to school. Nobody invests money in women education. Or he said that because somebody's going to marry this girl off, so I'm going to train my sons. So it worked well then. It's having issues now. In all the countries I travel to, they say, don't bring a woman from Africa. Don't bring your wife from this one. If your wife comes, don't make sure she's not a nurse. Make sure she's not a doctor. And among the men, they are passing that information that once your wife starts earning money, she will become rebel. No, the issue is not money. The issue is the app you are running. You are running an outdated app. And a lot of the strong men pushing that men are providers, they are sending their kids to do masters, do PhD, their daughters. So their own daughters are going to have a crisis because they've told her that your husband must provide. Now you have PhD, you're a high earner. How many men can provide for you? So you see, we have enough girls not getting married. Once you enter some professional field and you are a high earner, men are running from you because what can I provide? You meet her with a house and a car, and they told you from village you are the provider. She already has a Benz. She already has a 5-bedroom house. So most men are looking for somebody they can, because they can't marry these girls they're seeing. Because they've given him a wrong orientation. Let's go to scripture. 1 Timothy 5. So DJ. So let's look at it biblically. Where is a famous scripture we quote? And as a pastor, that's what we receive. That's what we're taught. So I quoted this a lot as well myself. But of course, the more I got into it, I found out it's not. That thing only works where women don't work. Where women don't earn. And whenever I see something like that, I know that can't be the counsel, and I have to read. As a rule, read the Bible in full. Never pick one verse out of context. Anytime you pick one verse out of a line of verses, it can say anything you want it to say. Always read beginning to end. So 1 Timothy from verse 4. It said, do not rebuke an elder. So what happened, if you know the story, Timothy is a young pastor, 20, 21 or 19, something like that. Very young pastor. Apostle Paul is his apostle, his senior pastor. So Apostle Paul was coaching him on how to run a church. So he said, don't rebuke an elder harshly, an older person, don't rebuke them harshly, but exhort him like a father. Treat the younger men as what? Your brothers. This is a minister's conference was given to Timothy. Next verse. It says, the older women treat them as mothers. He said the younger women as what? Sisters. Notice he added with all purity. Because these young girls, say add purity for that one. See, this is a minister's conference. DJ, take it back to normal King James. So that just take it back to normal King James if you can. Verse what are we in now? No, verse 3, but just continue in normal King James. You're reading NIV. He said, give proper recognition to honor widows who are what? I can't hear you. What does it say? Honor widows who are what? So who is he talking about here now? Who is Paul referring to now in this verse? Is there now? Who? Widows. He's telling Timothy how to treat widows. So we're on the topic of widows. We started with the topic of older men, older women, younger women. Now we're on the topic of what? Widows. Very important context. It said honor widows and widows. The next verse. But if any what? Who are we still talking about? You are not confident. Who are we still talking about? Widows. If any widows have grandchildren, let them first learn to show pay their home, blah, blah, blah. Go to the next verse. Verse 5. Now she who is really a what? Who are we still referring to? Good. Next verse. It says, but she who lives in pleasure. Who are we talking about? Very simple English. We are still on widows. Verse 7. And these things command that they may be what? Blameless. Verse 8. But if anyone, take note, not man, if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his own house, He has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So hold on. Who are we talking about? No, not anyone is I'm talking about who are they talking about providing for? We've never changed the topic. We're still on widows. Now what was happening those days was that widows did not have a form of income. The church was paying bills for all the widows, and it became too much. So Paul said, you know what, you can't pay for all these widows. What you're going to do, if anybody has a relative that is a widow, they should take care of that widow so that the church can take care of widows. Now, if you continue reading, I don't want to waste my time on it, but if you continue reading, go to verse 16, DJ. Give me normal King James. Not New King James, just normal King James. If you see that in verse 9, they continue talking about what? Widows. That means verse 8 is about what? Very important. Verse 8 is not about marriage. Verse 8 is not about husband and wife. We are still on the topic of widows. So verse 9 confirmed it, but just to save time, go to verse 16. Say, if any man or what? If any man or woman that believeth have what? What are we still discussing, guys? We've never left the topic. How all of us turn verse 8 to tell a man he's the provider of the family. That's not, you can say that, but not these scriptures. These scriptures do not say that. These scriptures are talking about if there are widows that are your relative, whether you're a male or female and you have a job and you have a widow that's related, whether your grandmother, your mother, your auntie, somebody that is related to you, you help us take care of that person so that the church, look at it here, if anybody that believeth have widows, let them relieve those ones, and let the church not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are what? Widows indeed, that have no relatives. Now, again, this is the only scripture that people use. I don't see another major scripture that says a man is a provider. If you look at the Bible in full context, how many of you have heard of the Proverbs 31 woman before? Did you see that woman? That woman was about 6 or 7 major businesses. She was in agriculture, she was in import, she was in export, she was in textile, she was in real estate. She considered the land and buys it. She was in real estate. She was in fashion. So does that woman look like the woman they're describing that? So biblically, this is Timothy that people use to say the man is provider is not there. Now, what is the danger practically? What is the danger of telling a man is the provider? Number one, he is taking God's place. God is the provider. If you say you are the provider, you're going to limit your family to whatever you can provide. Quit that title now and give it back to the person that can provide for this family. Give it back. Now, are we saying you as a man should be irresponsible? Listen, a man that will be responsible, if you like tell him he's a provider till now to next year, he's going to be irresponsible. So that's not who we're talking about. Of course, you desire to take care of your home. If I'm having to tell you to take care of yourself, then something is seriously wrong with you. It's a different problem you have. The family will inherit the man of the house, whether he is good or bad. They are inheriting who he is. If he finds himself and finds purpose in God, it benefits the family. So he's not doing it just because I want to be a pro. It's when he has that mentality, he doesn't even fulfill purpose for his own life. Because he's taking God's place. Let's look at it practically now. I've looked at it biblically to cancel that scripture we always use. But let's look at it practically. You've told the man is a provider. The woman also, because in a cultural marriage, women too are groomed to believe that my own is just to look pretty. My husband, he will pay everything. That makes sense in a setting like Africa, where the men are given more opportunities than the women. So a lot of women live their lives based on that, just looking good, waiting for a man. In fact, there are some that even ask for Lamborghini just to have sex. You know. I'm telling you, man, that's cultural marriage. In a cultural marriage, women just bill men. Oh yes, I'm trying to show you how a cultural marriage works. So women, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's fine. So, but generally that's a cultural setting. So in a cultural setting, even when guys want to take ladies out on a date, some girls say you have to pay my transportation, you have to pay for my hair, you have to pay for my nails, you have to pay for my dress for the date. You see, this is a cultural setting. So the man is buying a product. What that does is that the few men that have capital circulate a lot of the women. The guys that are struggling can't even get a fair chance. This is what's going on in Africa. The few men that are rich, whether married or single, they circulate the women. Now, the challenge also with that is that a man that buys a product, you now want to have an opinion. These women that were traded like a product, he just paid for you to come. He just paid. Then you get into the home, then you want to have a voice. When you left home today, did you tell your furniture when you'll be back? He's going to stay there till you come. So this man has a sense of entitlement. He has paid money. You now want to be his equal. No, he's not seeing it that way. You're an item he purchased. You're one of the things he conquered. Then by the time you mistakenly travel abroad, if you're a cultural married person, don't come to the Western world. It won't work. You now get here. You now find out she also needs to work. She now begins to work. And may God help you, she enters medical field. She now begins to earn a lot of money. All her life, people wonder why the marriages get here and they don't work. I'll tell you, that's what I'm explaining to you. All her life, she saw a man's usefulness tied to providing. The moment she gets here and she can provide for herself, she doesn't know why on earth she's respecting you. For what? You have lost relevance. I don't know if somebody's catching it. So people wonder, why do women come here and they lose their... Because all the while she was taught the only thing you are useful for is providing. She now lands here and she can provide for herself. Why is she carrying dead weight?